In this video, we're finally going to answer the question, which city's better? Is it Dallas or Fort Worth? And we're getting after it right now, so stay tuned. My name is Richard Soto, a local real estate broker right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as we do weekly videos talking all about living, working, and playing right here in DFW. Every week we receive calls from all over the United States and around the world, and we absolutely love it. So if you have any questions regarding real estate anywhere throughout Texas, don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd be happy to assist you with your next real estate transaction. Now, let's get into it and finally figure out which is the best city, Dallas or Fort Worth. Everyone that lives in North Texas likes to debate whether Dallas or Fort Worth is better. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what I personally prefer. However, it's really hard to pick which city's better because ultimately it's going to come to your own personal preferences and circumstances. Let's start with the nicknames. Dallas is known as the Big D, while Fort Worth is known as Cowtown. And both of these nicknames pretty much set the tone for each city. Dallas likes to be known as a huge, sprawling metropolis with everything new and fancy and shiny, while Fort Worth enjoys that Western country laid-back feeling. So talk about polar opposites in regards to the vibe that the city's trying to put off. Now, if you mention the word Cowboys in Dallas, people in Dallas think of America's team. They think about football. They think about Sunday afternoon or Sunday night grilling, watching the game. They think about Monday Night Football. They think about cheerleaders on the sideline. In Fort Worth, if you mention the word cowboy, they're more likely to think of herding cattle through the town. They're thinking about the outdoors and more of a country feel. Oddly enough, same word, two total different impressions. However, there are a lot of Cowboys fans in Fort Worth without question. But it's kind of funny how that one word has two total different meanings depending on which city you live in. Now, in regards to traffic, Dallas traffic is brutal, and unfortunately it seems like there's a lot of accidents almost on a daily basis. Anytime I'm going to appointments or showings, meetings, it's never ending, and there's constant construction in Dallas. Fort Worth can have the same issues. However, it's not at that scale. So in regards to traffic, you're way better off driving in Fort Worth than you are in Dallas. Then again, there are little pockets, but as a whole, Fort Worth traffic is less than the Dallas traffic. Now, nightlife. It's been a long time since I've been out and about past 9 p.m. My evenings and weekends are completely booked with my BLE basketball kids, so I'm in tournaments all day and night. However, when I did go out, I can say this. If I was in uptown or downtown, the drinks were extremely expensive. In a lot of the nightclubs, there would also be a cover charge. Now, when you compare that to Fort Worth, the cost is going to be a lot less. So if you're trying to go out and have fun with your friends or you're taking out a date, you'll definitely save some money if you're in Fort Worth when compared to Dallas. Now for a subject that I don't like to discuss or talk about, even though when I'm perusing Facebook, I'm very tempted to drop comments. However, I avoid it at all costs, and that's politics and voting. Registered voters in Dallas are 39.6% more likely to be registered as Democrats than registered voters in Fort Worth. registered voters in Fort Worth are 11.3% less likely to be registered as Democrats than the rest of the United States. Now moving on to dining. My corporate office is in Dallas. However, I do spend a lot of time in Fort Worth. Not half the week, but almost. So, as you already know, I go out to eat pretty much on a daily basis. So in regards to dining, Fort Worth has some great Tex-Mex restaurants, some great barbecue restaurants as well. However, I don't believe it's even close in regards to the options. Dallas has so many more options and different types of cuisine from all over the world. So if you're a foodie like myself, you'll definitely enjoy spending more time in Dallas than you would Fort Worth. Now moving on to the cost of living, Dallas housing costs are about 8.6% more expensive than Fort Worth housing costs. Health-related expenses are 5.4% less in Dallas. Now moving on to industries, there's the tech industry and the defense industry. So in Fort Worth, they have huge lucrative government contracts that were given to, for instance, like Lockheed Martin, where they build, I don't know, F-16s or whatever military jets, helicopters, things like that, while Dallas is more known as a Silicon Valley. So depending on what type of industry you're looking at, those are the two different options in the DFW Metroplex. And it's been a blessing. A lot of other corporations and businesses have been flooding to North Texas, and it's been a great blessing. So there are a lot more options besides just the tech defense industry. Our health industry is great. School industry is awesome as well as a lot of other options here in the DFW Metroplex. Pace of life. You're looking at urban versus Western. If you're on the go like myself, you're constantly doing something, you have to be places, you got to do things, that's going to be more of a Dallas vibe. If you're looking for that laid back, slower pace, that Western lifestyle, Fort Worth will give you that vibe. I'm not saying everybody's that way. However, it's just more of that feel that the cities give you, which is completely different. Very fast paced, slower pace. Just depends on what you prefer in your lifestyle. Now, if you're single, ready to mingle, you want to get out and about and meet somebody, if you're looking for a mate, or if you just want to date, the odds are in Dallas, there's a 10.2% less chance that someone's married in comparison to Fort Worth. Saying that, there's great people in Dallas and Fort Worth. If you're single, a lot of different places you can go to meet people as well. However, there's more single people in Dallas. So take that into consideration. So those are just a couple of differences between the two cities right here in North Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth, which one's better? It's really totally up to you and your lifestyle, what you prefer, what's important to you. It's just so hard to choose. However, I am going to tell you what I do prefer. And again, we do business, a lot of business in both Dallas and Fort Worth, Dallas, Tarrant County. Biggest difference in my opinion is I feel Dallas and the suburbs, right, outside of Dallas and Fort Worth and its suburbs, I feel there's a lot more options for housing and things like that. So, you know, in Dallas you have Frisco, you got McKinney, you have Plano. There's a lot of great suburbs right outside the city. As you know, I have kids, that family lifestyle, great school district, which is extremely important to me. Safety, low crime, all that plays a part in me choosing where I want to live. Fort Worth has some great suburbs as well. There's South Lake, Hollyville, Keller. There's definitely some great options in Tarrant County, as you've hopefully you've seen some of the videos we've done, South Lake being one of them. However, there's just many more options in Dallas. Fort Worth has great things as well, though. Like myself, that I have kids, I feel like I'm in Tarrant County quite a bit. Not now due to COVID, but when everything gets back to normal and prior to COVID, there's Six Flags, there's Wet n Wild, there's a lot more activities. And oddly enough, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium is in Arlington. It's in Tarrant County, so still the Dallas Cowboys though, right? Anyway, when you go watch the game, you're going to Tarrant County. If you're in the MLB, professional baseball, Texas Rangers, you're going into Tarrant County. So, a lot of great things in Tarrant County. By no means is, I would just say, one's way greater than the other. Just for me and my kids, we prefer Dallas. We prefer Dallas, even though we like going downtown Dallas, but I feel like downtown Fort Worth is more manageable. It's easier to walk. There's almost more activity, seems like, in downtown Fort Worth. However, there's uptown, there's downtown, there's Deep Ellum. So Dallas is just so much bigger, and you get so many different vibes. We can go to Deep Ellum, you see all the graffiti, all the tattoo artists, a really edgy, cool feeling. Then you can go to Victory Park, and there's some stuck-up people or whatever the case is, or you can go to Uptown. If you're single, there's a lot of little bars and things you can do there, and there's a lot of good-looking people walking around. So, totally different. Just for me, I really prefer Dallas. I go to our Austin, San Antonio, Houston office quite a bit, whether it's to train the agents or for meetings. And let me tell you, when I'm coming up 35 North or I'm going up 45 North and I'm going up that hill and I see that Dallas skyline come up, man, I love seeing that. When I see that, I'm like, that's home. I'm coming home. I am home. Fort Worth skyline doesn't give me that same feeling, okay? So, I feel like in Dallas, it's one of the most beautiful skylines in the country. So, that's just the difference between the two. Not to belabor the point, both cities are great. It's totally up to you and what you prefer. Drop a comment and let me know. I'd like to see who prefers Dallas over Fort Worth or vice versa. And let's see in the comments who actually wins. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully it brought you some value. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere throughout Texas, don't hesitate to give us a call. And we will see you on the next video.